Guys, there is a polar bear near town.
Welcome back to Svalbard, everyone. My name is Cecilia and I live on Svalbard, an island close to the North Pole. And yes, we have polar bears here. If you haven't hung out with me before, hello and welcome. If you have, welcome back. Make sure to subscribe if you like this video and stay tuned till the end to hear some exciting news.
Guys, there is a polar bear near town. A question I get all the time is, how do we know where the polar bears are? How do we find out? Well, like 90% of the time we don't. But when we do know, Sysselmannen, which is our government, they write on our Facebook page. And basically what they've written now is, the governor has received a message from a cabin owner at Hjorthamn that a polar bear has broken into his cabin. Hjorthamn is just across the water from Longyearbyen. This has happened over the past 2 days. The governor asks people who travel in the terrain, also close to Longyearbyen, to be aware and take precautions against the polar bear danger. Christopher, did you say that you know where that it was in the cabin area now?
I think it was in Adventdalen, the last cabin in Adventdalen.
This is how we get pretty much all of our news. We check our Facebook page. So let's go and have a look at the area where the polar bear is. In our car, not getting too close, just pointing in the direction, because we don't want to disturb, get a fine, and piss Sysselmannen off. Okay, let's go.
It takes me about 10 minutes to drive into our town Longyearbyen from my cabin. We don't have more than 60 kilometers of road here, and at the edge of town towards Adventdalen you can find this polar bear sign.
So this is as far as you can go in this direction. When you get to this sign, that's when you really know that you should be wearing some sort of polar bear protection or have a gun or a flare gun or anything with you to pass this point. So you will see these signs up at different locations at the end of the village. So there's one towards the end that way, which is towards our cabin, and then there is two on the different roads that lead up behind the village towards, the glaciers and everything. So it's just a reminder for people to not forget that there are polar bears here.
So it is actually quite frequently, like every few weeks, that we have polar bears get close to the village, but I can rarely document it. We are required by law to stay away and neither interfere with Sysselmannen's work nor seek out a polar bear. Sysselmannen is the governing entity of Svalbard, by the way, so basically our police. And seeking out a polar bear is against the law and will land you a hefty fine. The polar bear that is near the village now was first seen in Hjorthamn, where it had broken into a few cabins, and then it walked over into Adventdalen, into this area. What Sysselmannen will first do when finding out that there is a polar bear nearby is to start monitoring the situation. They will analyze the behavior of the bear. If it's moving close towards the village, they might also try to scare it off. If the bear starts to move away from the village, they will often just keep a close eye on it, but try not to disturb it as it removes itself from the area, which is what they are currently doing with this bear. If they decide to chase it away, this is often done with a helicopter, flying low and encouraging the polar bear to run in the direction that they want. In some cases, they have to sedate the bear and fly it far away from the village. The problem with that is that it is quite difficult to calculate how much you need to sedate a bear of an unknown weight, and bears have previously died in transit.
So now that there is a polar bear in this general area and they kind of know where it is, they tell people to stay away. And that means like any unnecessary travel in this location out here is kind of like, please try to stay away if you can. And also, again, they tell people like, remember to bring everything that you should have with you. But also, again, since seeking a polar bear out is illegal, if I were to like drive in here now looking for it and take photos, they would be pissed and I would probably get a fine. And of course I won't do that because that could just cause a whole heap of different problems. So that's exciting. And I mean, we get polar bears that come towards the village quite often. Very often they do stop before here because Sysselmannen, they try to, you know, chase them away with helicopters, or they drive out their cars and scare them away. So it's not that often that we have super big problems with it, but it really does. It can happen. Like, nothing is impossible. But we don't go armed in the village.
So what stops a polar bear from entering the village? Well, nothing. The reason why we say that there is a low chance of running into a polar bear on the streets of town is mostly because of the noise. The bears tend to be quite scared animals and would generally not choose to walk into the noisy settlement, but again, it has happened. And also because when one polar bear does walk into the settlement, we are quite quick to spot them. What happens then is that the government sends out a car to where the polar bear is to alert people around of its presence. They will also write on our Facebook page, and word of mouth in this little village spreads like wildfire, so everybody will know. In the village, we don't walk around armed, and it's actually prohibited to walk around with a loaded firearm. When coming back from, let's say, a mountain hike, you make sure that your firearm is visibly empty. And to keep the kids safe in town, there is a school bus that goes around and picks the kids up and drives them to school. Even though it is, for many, a short walk, it's a way to up the safety. The schools are also fenced in to give them another layer of protection and avoid any issues. Since we have reindeer roaming the streets, I guess it's also effective in keeping kids from making new reindeer friends as well.
So this is exciting. What we will do now is probably just kind of, they'll monitor the situation. And see if it gets closer to the village. Since it's been like, I don't know, an hour since I checked that one because I had to get ready and go here. Nothing has changed so far, so I can update in a day or so and see if anything happens, you know. But most probably or definitely it will walk away in a different direction, and hopefully it won't go towards the village because we want everybody to be safe, as well as the polar bear.
Having a polar bear this close to town reminded me of the fact that I don't have a good pair of binoculars, so I can't really see anything far away. So I met up with Christopher in town to have lunch and then to go buy my first pair of binoculars.
Now we're gonna buy a pair of binoculars, which we've needed for a very long time. And it's pretty much the only way to actually see where there is a polar bear, especially when it's far away. So we need it for our boat trips, we need it for our everyday trips, and we need a proper pair. So we're gonna go in here and grab one. So we have that. I could have used that today. So in we go.
Häng med.
Häng med!
When we're out on our boat trips, it's such an important piece of equipment. Every time we anchor in a new spot, we need to be able to scan the area before going in with our dinghy. It's estimated that we have around 3,000 polar bears in our archipelago, but only about 500 of those hang out in our area. The rest are further north, so if you are out on an expedition ship that goes around the island, the chances of seeing a polar bear is quite high. We can't take our boat north because we don't have enough fuel to make the trip there and back. We headed to a local store called 78 Degrees and picked up a pair of binoculars. You can find almost any gear that you would need here in the local stores. This one was a pricey little bugger. I can't even say it out loud, to be honest, but it's one of those expensive, not so fun, but necessary purchases. After this, we headed to Stationen to have some lunch before making our way back home.
have some very exciting news. You can now find my videos on the streaming platform Nebula, completely ad-free. So what is Nebula, you might ask?
Nebula is a creator-owned streaming platform. It's the home of tons of exclusive ad-free content, both original productions as well as bonus content from some of your favorite creators.
I have also uploaded a completely exclusive video just for Nebula to, celebrate the occasion.
I created a cozy cabin evening video for anyone wanting some more cozy Svalbard vibes, and you can find it right now only on Nebula. The best way to get access to all of this exclusive content is to sign up to the Curiosity Stream and Nebula bundle deal. And if you're using my link in the description, you're paying less than $15 for a whole year. Curiosity Stream is an amazing place on the internet if you like to watch documentaries, which I really do. They have thousands of high quality documentaries, and one I would really like to recommend is this one, Iceman, 200 Years in Antarctica. It's a riveting story of polar exploration. It investigates the motivation, psychology, science, and physical endurance of the people who have explored Antarctica over the last 200 years. I found it so inspirational, and even though I am no polar explorer, I related to many of their struggles and also the thrill of such a rough environment. So head to Curiosity Stream to watch that and many, many more inspiring documentaries.
If you click the link in my description, you get access to that exclusive video on Nebula, as well as all of the really cool documentaries off of Curiosity Stream. And thank you again so much for being here and watching my videos and supporting my channel. I really, really appreciate you.